Cruise news time, and well, Icon of the Seas, not even in service yet, has already reported a stowaway. We also have more horror stories coming off of the Pacific Adventure, you know, the cruise that was supposed to go to New Zealand, but now going to Tasmania. People are having a bad time on that cruise ship. And there's a new proposal for a tax just for cruisers. That's great. Woohoo. Thanks a lot. Cruise news and my views. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views for your face. Welcome to Monday. It's the 27th of November, 2023. Man, we're almost to December. Did you put your Christmas tree up over the weekend? We did 0.0 Christmas decorating this weekend, but I know we have to do it soon, and it's cruise week for us, baby. We're just a few days away from making our way to Fort Lauderdale to embark on the Caribbean Princess on Sunday, December the 3rd. And of course, there's a lot to do there. Got to get packed up, and it's the best, man. I don't know how long it's been since I've been at sea. I think since Halloween, and I wonder what the opposite of homesickness is. I got seasickness, but not the kind that makes me throw up, just the kind that makes me long for the sea. But, sliding into the cruise news, there are some people that have some legit seasickness. Let's swing back around to the story we've been talking about over the last few days. Pacific Adventure was supposed to go on a 13-day Kiwi cruise from Sydney, Australia to New Zealand and see the sights there. And well, they were unable to get their hull cleaned, and apparently, look at the headline on this one, cruise disrupted for 3 seashells. That's kind of what we're hearing, that there were like 3 mussels attached and some sort of coral. They couldn't get it cleaned before they were supposed to go to New Zealand, and now they've been rerouted to Tasmania. I talked yesterday about the couple who missed their whole wedding because of this misadventure. Now we've got people on board complaining that there's seasickness everywhere, and then in a, kicking somebody while they're down, there's a story that the major attraction in Tasmania, the one reason that you go to Tasmania, well, it's closed. It's closed this week. It would be like saying, okay, we got rerouted to Orlando, but Disneyland and Universal and, what's the other one? SeaWorld, all that stuff is closed down. The closed down hotspot in question is billed as southern Tasmania's biggest tour attraction. Kunanyi/Mount Wellington will be closed for maintenance this week ahead of the upcoming peak tourist season. So, if, all of a sudden you got excited because your New Zealand cruise got canceled and you found out you were going to Tasmania and you were like, oh, well, I'll just go see that Mount Wellington. That's supposed to be the bomb.com. Well, guess what? It's closed for maintenance. Whew. And then I've heard some conflicting things that said initially they were offered $300 onboard credit and a 50% future cruise credit. But I think folks on board have been saying that's not really good enough. And I've heard that may have shifted to $200 onboard credit and a full cruise refund. That, it's one of those deals. You get stuck in the quagmire and you're just trying to get out of it. I'm sure the people on that ship, like the crew members and the leadership, they're like, can we just get through this cruise? And I'm sure the people on board are like, can we just get through this cruise? And then there's some other people on board like, I need another seasick bag. Not good. Not good. Okay, let's talk about cruise news story number 2. There has been a stowaway reported on the Icon of the Seas. The shipbuilder has released a photo of the stowaway, and it's this owl. Somewhere along the way during the sea trials, an owl took up a spot on the Icon of the Seas. Some speculation, maybe the owl was blown off course and they viewed the Icon of the Seas as an island, which it certainly does look like an island, and then it stowed away. They worked on board to humanely capture the owl, and then they transferred the owl over to animal services once they got back on land. But it's not uncommon for birds to land on cruise ships, and especially these Royal Caribbean big cruise ships like the Oasis of the Seas or the Oasis class. They have that Central Park area with all that vegetation. There's been several instances of birds that have taken up residence in the Central Park area on the Oasis class ships. But, they've got to make sure that they get those animals off the ship and, repatriated to where those animals come from. You can't be shipping animals all over the world, especially you can't have mussels on your hull when you're going into New Zealand. But yeah, it's wild. Stowaway already on Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas. Just sitting here, I guess it is Cyber Monday. I haven't really looked for any sales. We did buy a new garment bag to try out, one of those folding garment bags with 4 wheels on it. I did buy that today. I don't know if it was a Cyber Monday deal, but you guys getting any Cyber Monday deals out there? Share it in the comments. Maybe we can all benefit. Man, there's a lot going on. Let me briefly touch on another story from the Life at Sea debacle. You remember this one. Life at Sea sold a 3-year round-the-world cruise. People sold their homes. People showed up in Istanbul getting ready to get on this cruise. Homeless people, essentially, because they sold their homes to go on this 3-year cruise. They showed up in Istanbul only to find out that because Life at Sea could not acquire a cruise ship, that cruise has been canceled. And now there's this dance going on. Life at Sea said they're going to refund the money in installments. How about that? Apparently, starting in December, they're going to pay you back a little bit at a time for that whole chunk of money that you spent on their cruise. They're supposed to be done with the full repayment by February, so it's not a big window, but it's a little insulting that you got to get paid back in installments. But yeah, so they're going to work with the people that are in Istanbul to get them back to wherever they need to get back to, and they're going to provide housing for some period of time until the payments start rolling in. But I did hear of the couple here in Florida sold their house. So I don't know. I don't know where they're going to be brought back to, and I'm assuming that they don't know that either. And a lot of these folks are older folks, and this was kind of like a retirement play for them. And so now they've got to figure out where they're going to go and how are they going to do it with just installment money. Cautionary tale alert. Do not book a cruise unless they already have the ship. Let's just stick with established cruising stuff. How about that? You know, it's fun and exciting to do something new, but not at that risk level. Yowza kajowza. Am I right? Am I right? That's a crazy play. All right, I got 2 stories about cruising being more expensive, including a possible new tax for just cruisers. But let me hit you with this one. Big milestone for Virgin Voyages. They've been doing a 44-day repositioning cruise on the Valiant Lady. They'll love to have been on this. Left Greece, went to some bucket list spots, Dubai, other places, with the whole goal of getting to Australia for the first time. And well, it's happened. Virgin Voyages has made its very first stop in Australia, this time stopping in Darwin. Darwin is in the Northern Territory. They've ported there. They've let the sailors go off and explore. And then they're going to continue down the coast of Australia. They're going to stop in Cairns. They're going to stop in Airlie Beach. They're going to stop in Sydney before the Valiant Lady eventually makes her way to her new home port in Melbourne, Australia. How about that? That's exciting. You know, we talk about not betting on new cruising endeavors. Virgin might have been in that boat for a while. Are they going to do it? Are they not going to do it? They had challenges, especially because they became a company during the shutdown, which was poor timing. Nothing they could do about that. But fortunately, we see Virgin starting to be more established, doing cruises in Europe, doing cruises in the Caribbean, and now finally having a cruise ship home ported in Australia. Can't wait to see what the Aussies think about Virgin Voyages. Are you scheduled to be on the Valiant Lady down under? Leave a comment below. All right, let's talk about cruise ports looking to get some mo money. The first one, I don't know if it's a cruise port making a mo money play, but it is a cruise port that is highlighting the environmental challenges of cruising. I'm talking about the cruise port of Aarhus, Denmark. They just recently completed their infrastructure for shore power, which allows cruise ships to essentially turn off their diesel engines, their fuel burning engines, and connect to the power grid in the cruise port and run off of electricity. And most of the time, whether cruise ships connect to shore power, that's kind of an optional thing for cruise ships. Well, in Aarhus, if you choose the option not to connect to shore power, you're going to get charged more money. That's right. In an attempt to incentivize cruise ships to use shore power there in Aarhus, you got to pay to play. If you don't plug in and use the city power, it's going to cost you some extra coin. So that's an interesting move to try to get cruise ships to go to shore power, at least if they're stopping there. And then we have a whole government saying that we need to tax cruisers more. And we're talking about the government of Quintana Roo. Quintana Roo is a state in Mexico, and inside of Quintana Roo happens to be the major cruise ports of Cozumel and Costa Maya. And they're saying, you know what? We have a lot of people coming to our state here in Mexico, and they're coming by cruise ship, and they need to pay. If approved, this tax would go into effect on January the 1st, 2025. And essentially what the government is saying there is, hey, look, we're not happy with the revenue we're making for all these thousands of cruisers coming into our state. We would like to use the measure of taxation and extract a tax from the folks when they come to our state. Particularly, we would like to have $5 per passenger, and we would like the cruise lines to collect that. We don't want to go through the process of collecting it from the people. We would like the cruise lines to collect it from the people, and it's only $5 per port. So if you go to Cozumel, $5. If you go to Costa Maya, $5, and who cares? It's only $10, right? Well, I care because I'm tired of the government putting their hand in my pocket. I am a small business owner, and the government puts a deep hand in my pocket. I am a, tax-paying citizen, and the government's already got their hand in my pocket. And now on my favorite, activity, cruising, I got another government wanting to put their hand in my pocket. I don't know, man. I mean, taxation, when you feel like you're getting something for it, good. Are we going to get more value for the $10? Maybe. We might get better infrastructure there in Cozumel and Costa Maya. It's probably a valid thing, but I'm very much not a lover of the taxes. What do you think? Are you okay with this new proposed tax? $10, no skin off the nose, no big deal? Or does the fact that another government's trying to tax you, does it bother you? Leave a comment below. Thank you so much for checking out the show today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to stay up to date with everything going on in cruising, please consider subscribing, notification bell on, do your part, hit the like button. This is Tony for Lido, Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye. Cruise news, cruise news, cruise news. It's over.